To learn English is to enjoy and experience a language that opens up opportunities across the world. Together with teachers and our partners, we're here to engage and inspire millions of people throughout their entire learning journey, helping them to confidently prove their skills to the world. As part of a university with a global reputation for academic excellence, we create insights derived from research and our expertise. Combining all of this ensures our unique approach meets the real-life needs of learners through inclusive and accessible products and services. Including the many of us who have been learners and teachers of English, we all care about the impact our work has in the classroom and beyond. By listening, collaborating, and partnering with our entire community, we enable teachers to do what they do best, teach, and learners to reach their full potential. English unlocks a lifetime of experiences, and because language is at the heart of being human, we help people everywhere connect, communicate, and come closer together. Cambridge is where your world grows.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Success Academy webinar, Starting the Journey. I'm Jenny Gonzalez, the School Marketing Manager for Cambridge, based in Mexico, and I'm delighted to have you here with us. We're privileged to have Rosalia Valero, our assessment expert, leading our session. Before we begin, here are a few tips to enhance your experience. Please ensure your audio and connectivity are working. As this is a live event, we appreciate your patience for any hiccups that may arise. For any questions, kindly use the Q&A feature in your Zoom menu bar. As Lao Tzu said, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Preparing for a Cambridge exam is an exciting journey. And today we'll discuss how to create a positive atmosphere, build self-confidence, set realistic goals, and present the exam as an achievable challenge. Now, let's hear from Rosalia Valero. With her extensive background in ELT and her passion for teaching, she embodies the belief that once a teacher, always a teacher. The floor is yours, Rosalia.
Thank you very much, Jenny. I think I shall start saying to people, please stop using my quotes because you will see it, but that is true. Jenny said apologies for any hiccups. I will say apologies for any sneezes. If you heard me before, I think this is not my usual voice. If this is your first time, thank you for trusting us and for being here. Okay, so let me start. The first struggle sometimes. I hope Zoom please be nice today, Zoom. Yes. And people will tell me whether Zoom is being nice. Is it being nice to me today, Jenny?
Yes, it's being nice to you.
Sharing. Okay. So I'm not seeing what I should be seeing in my screens, but that is a different thing. But let me see. I hope I'm not changing anything. Is everything still okay? I'll take that as a yes. You can see the big screen? Yes, lovely. Okay. So if at any time you see me go mute or you don't see my face anymore, I'm trying to not cough or sneeze in front of you, right? So Success Academy, thank you very much. Many of you were at the previous Success Academy webinar when we had the formal start, but this is really starting the journey. The other time it was about being with you and telling you what it was going to be about and talking about assessment in general and important questions. This is what I intend to do today. And I hope there will be still a voice at the end of this webinar. So thank you for your patience. I'm saying that in advance. Okay, so this is like what I intend to do. Jenny has already giving you a view, right? We'll talk about quickly the exam preparation journey and why we're so happy that we have curated this for you, because it's a curation of Cambridge resources. We'll talk about the Cambridge handbooks, and for me, this is the most important part of this session here today. But also important, the right environment for the classroom, not just for preparation classes, but for the classroom every day, whenever, right? And then we'll look a little bit at exam orientation, creating a path to success, where we all feel there is something we have to look forward to, rather than this is what I have to do, right? And I will go there, not happy, but I will go there. No, let's not go that way. And we'll have a quick introduction to the mock test toolkit, just a quick introduction, because we know probably some of you have already seen it, some of you will want to know about it. I will ask you at the relevant time, and I hope to have at least a couple of minutes for Q&A. You will see that there is a section there for Q&A. Jenny will be reminding you in the chat to please take your questions to the Q&A section, so that we can see how many we can answer, how many I can answer at the end of my session. Please don't believe the word expert when somebody talks about me. I'm just a person with lots of questions who knows lots of people she can ask, okay? And that's why I know some things, and those some things I want to share with you. So let's start. As I said, this is a lovely thing. So yeah, even if it's 1,000 miles, and when you started this new school year, you said, it's what am I going to do from here till they have to be ready? It's a lot of things. Yeah, 1,000 miles, it's a lot of steps, but it takes the first one to start walking. And you want to improve your walking, you keep on walking, right? And I'm not promoting any whiskey here, right? First of all, let's all start with a deep breath. It's going to be good for you. It's going to be very good for me, okay? Think back to learning something new, anything. It could be another language, if you remember when you started learning how to cook, how to knit, how to drive, anything, right? When you were learning, right? How did you know you were improving? Why did you keep on going, right? And here I'm going to touch on two very important things, and you're going to see. We, as educators, we are very used to talking about feedback, giving feedback to our learners, right? Or us getting feedback, or how we got feedback from our previous teachers, educators, etc. So when there is feedback involved, there is a conversation, communication about progress, and we tend to focus on areas we should improve, right? These are the learning points. Work on this. You should try and do better than this. But this time, I want us to look a little bit more closely, at reflection, understanding performance, and taking the next steps. What is the difference? Usually, feedback we get from somebody else. Self-feedback, yeah, could happen, right? But reflection, definitely. Reflection happens when we say, why did that happen? I was not expecting that. I had my lesson plan. It didn't work. I had my plan. Just early in the morning, I was talking to Petey, a dear friend and colleague of mine, talking about, yeah, that was plan B, but then we had I had already gone in my head all the way to plan D or E, because you get used to thinking like that, right? You have to reflect. Something might not happen the way I'm planning it. So what do I do? Success Academy, we're here, right? What is the goal of the Success Academy? Not to teach you, to remind you, to motivate you, to say, hey, reflection. Remember, we've always believed that reflection is important. So in this case, it's reflection about exam preparation. things you already know, because let's face it, there are lots of things we know, but then we tend to forget because we learn new things, we see new approaches, etc. And then sometimes we forget because we stop using certain things. So let's go back in many cases to remember that thing, oldies but goodies, because they're still very good after all this time, right? And sometimes we forget simply because we started using other things. So let's discover, but also rediscover. Let's be happy again about things that we have used before. Okay, so let's all go together, because this is the important thing, going together. And this is what Cambridge would like to do with you. This is our invitation to go together in this exam preparation journey. I would like you to think about 4 important things. There are lots of important things, but let's focus on 4. Planning the journey. And here is, we have all the WH questions. And maybe some of you say, wow, those are more than the typical, what was it we used to say, 5. Water. So this is when we look at the exam preparation journey, we have to think about the who. In that case, it's not just our learners, right? I'm sure you already started thinking, especially if you're teaching primary school or lower secondary school, yeah, and even upper secondary school. It's the who, but it's not just the learners when it comes to the who, right? It's also your school colleagues, your school authorities, the families, the learners' families, the what. Of course, you know what you're going to teach, the when. In this case, probably it's when, I'm sorry, when do people have to be ready? Okay, where am I going with this? I usually tell people when I'm presenting, sometimes, many times, usually, practically always, I surprise myself with the direction I'm taking, because I see new perspectives. And this is good, I think. I highly encourage this, right? So who is going to be, who is so important? You see, I put it twice here. But to whom will I have to talk? Which direction? Which alternatives? Whose ideas to use? Whose words? Whatever, the why, and also the one which doesn't start with the WH, but also very important, how. How am I going to get there? Packing your essentials. We've talked about this before. Remember, some of you have heard me. These are that we believe at Cambridge that these are the essentials. Please trust us. We know a little bit about exams, materials, and resources, right? And I know whenever we meet, you can tell me how much you enjoy the Cambridge website, and also how long it takes you to sometimes to find things when you go to the Cambridge website. We've all been there, believe me. This is why we like the exam preparation journey so much, because we've curated things. So we think we've made it really practical for you to find things that we think you will be needing at a certain time, given the experience. After all, we've been doing this for over 100 years, right? So a little bit of trust. The power of words. Words change the word. Words change people's ideas. Words change perspectives. Words are really very powerful. And we're going to look at mentioned word lists, right? Because vocabulary resources, usually when you talk to people, and I remember for years, I used to ask people, if you get stranded, let's say it's a deserted island, and it's somewhere where there are people, but we don't know the language. But you have an option, because this is a very strange fictional island. You can choose whether to have a grammar of that language or a bilingual dictionary, your language and the language of the island. Which would you rather have? And in my experience, people say the dictionary, right? Because if you have words, you can communicate. If you only have grammar, what you say may be totally accurate, perfectly grammatically correct, but if you don't have the words, what can you do? And special requirements, because that is really very interesting and very important and essential, and the best time is now, so much so that, please, if you have learners in your classroom where you're preparing your students for a Cambridge exam, if there's a case of disabilities or special requirements, temporary or long-term, now or remember whenever it happens. It can be visual difficulties, hearing or speaking difficulties, learning difficulties, etc. Things that happen. Somebody breaks an arm, for example, something that will be temporary. Blah, blah, blah. Please contact your center, your approved Cambridge Center, as soon as possible. And let me share something, if you have never heard about this, because we're very proud of this, because we're very happy. Supporting young learners with dyslexia. This is particularly useful for primary schools. So this is a guide for teachers, and we hope you can find it useful. And I'm going to show you something that is going to make you think, why are you talking about that, Rosalia? Why are you showing me this? Because I'm not going to talk a lot about it now, but I will refer to it in a very short while, okay? We have lots of resources, as I said, and this is a lovely one, which is the Wordlist picture book for pre-A1 starters level, right? It's ready for you to download, okay? You download, you start using immediately. And you're going to see why I mentioned this. The exam preparation journey, very quickly. It's something, we can still use the word new, or you can start saying newish. It's 10 packs, ready to use. We have created it, curated it in the best possible way so that you can take it with you throughout your school year. Just see where you have to start, because I know that some of you have been having exam certificate ceremonies already in September. I've been invited to some in October, right? So it depends. Now, exam preparation journey goes all the way from A2 Key for Schools, flyers, to C2. So you're going to say, Rosalia, how about starters and movers? Remember what I showed you? We've got you covered. There's also resources for that. We won't forget you, believe me. But this exam preparation journey pack, it's only from A2 Key for Schools level to C2 proficiency. So take that into account, but don't feel neglected, and don't feel that we're discriminating against you, because there is lots of things. This is another way of looking at the exam preparation journey, and this is where we're starting, because starting at the very beginning is usually a good place to start. Julie Andrews sang that in The Sound of Music years ago. Okay, so what is inside the exam preparation journey? If you have never seen it, you will find time appropriate content for the time of the year, of the school year. I'm here using the word expert because I do like to acknowledge that I'm very blessed. I've got expert colleagues and expert people who come and help us and support us create lovely things like these exam preparation journey pack. So we've actually collected the best for you, and we've made sure that you find it easy to use right away. But the best thing about it is that you will find it easy to get. You will get it right away, because you will see where it is. And as I said before, if you're preparing learners for starters and movers, those lovely young learners test, don't worry, we've got you covered. Please believe me. And this is where I'm going to ask you to just give me and voice back, right? The Cambridge Handbook. And I've added here, trusted guides. The Cambridge Handbooks. And here, maybe you said, yes, I know, I've used it a million times before. Good for you. I'm very happy that you have. This is your first time. You're going to see that this is something that will help you, okay? It is the most reliable guide because it was created by the same people who created the exams. So when we're telling you this is this, it's because we know that is that, okay? Especially if it's your first time preparing for a specific exam. Maybe you have taught some exams before and now you're preparing for another exam. Please go to the handbook, okay? You will find lots of useful things. All of those things, even teaching tips. Did you know that? Because if you didn't know that, it's because maybe you haven't seen everything. Now, a handbook It's not a thing you go from page 1 to the last one. Just like that. It would be extremely boring. It wouldn't be fruitful. Please don't do it, right? Everything you need to understand. I told you about teaching tips, but also exam strategies, right? And you will see all the links to more resources. We used to have hard copies, so printed handbooks, but now it's easier that you can just download them, and you can download specific parts of the handbook only, and you can find everything here. But if you're like me, you want to know, yes, so lots of pages, Rosalia. What should I do first, right? Very good question, if I do say so myself. Go to the overview. This is like a summary of the most important things you need to know about that specific exam, right? Because if you've only taught, for example, prepare learners for young learners exams, and then you go to the Cambridge English qualification starting from Cambridge A2 Key for Schools, you see a difference, right? I will tell you, years ago, people used to say, going from B1 preliminary to B2 first, there is a difference. And there's also other people who say, yeah, but going from B2 first to C1 advanced, there's a difference. In any way, if you think about it, there is a difference. Going from level to level, there is a difference, right? You need to know about the exam. So there might be some specific things about the exam. There are people who I think like to challenge me whenever they see me at events, conferences, meetings, whatever, and they ask me, so Rosalia, task so-and-so in listening, it's so many test items, right? And I usually say, if you say so, I'll believe you, right? Because memorizing how many test items in every task, for me, isn't one of the most interesting things to do about an exam or getting students ready for an exam. But some people find that very useful, so I respect that entirely. The can-do summary is also a must, because you see what the destination is, what the goal of showing that somebody has achieved that level, right? And I've shown you here an example of A2 Key for Schools, where you see the can-do statements, right? And obviously, we're talking about the Common European Framework of References for Modern Languages, right? So these are the descriptors. What you can do when you show that you have reached a certain level. Before you were able to do this, now you're showing you can do this, and you can do that, or you can go from there to there to there, right? Depending on how you want to see the levels. So that's very important for you to see. I said before, I asked you rather, is this the first time you're preparing learners for this exam? If that is the case, do the practice test. Please believe me, I know that you have that level and even higher, of course, but see how the exam feels. Get the look and feel of the exam. Or is this the first Cambridge exam for your learners? Try and see it from the learner's perspective. How are they used to this sort of task? The course books we've been using, are they prepared? Because if there's one thing about an exam, is that there should be no surprises on the day of the exam. They should have a good, clear expectation of what to find, what to expect when they get there, okay? And as a fool, I didn't start my, what's it called? My timer. So let me try and rectify that. Okay. Not going to help as much as I wanted it to, but it will still help. So don't try to read everything at once from anything that you see, right? This is a good test in general, unless of course you need it for somewhat of an emergency, whatever that emergency is. But for the handbook, lots of useful things. Don't try and get everything at once. You don't have to get a new record for, oh yeah, I read it. I downloaded it yesterday, and 2 hours, I read everything. because chances are they say that we should at least read and think about things 3 times, 1, 2, 3, before we actually remember something that we can say we have learned. That is 3 times, okay? Again, they say it is generally believed that it takes us 3 times. So I don't want you to read the handbook 3 times. Nobody should, right? I don't think there's a reason why anybody should read the handbook throughout the course of the school year 3 times. There are certain parts you may want to read again. Good, that makes a lot of sense. There are certain parts where you say, not now, but I will come back later. Again, you decide. I've always said, and I believe, when it comes to your classroom, Cambridge is not the expert. You are. Always. Okay? So, the handbook. If this is the only thing you take out of this session today, I will be a happy person today, because this is very important. If you have seen the handbook before, please go back and see what new perspectives you can find. If you have never seen it before, please download it. And this time I will make things easy for you, because I will tell you the only thing you have to do to download all the resources is go to the exam preparation journey online. So you find everything, okay? And if there is something else you would like to see, just let us know and we will share it. All right? So handbooks. And we have handbooks for each one of the exams, okay? So all 3 Young Learners exams, all the way from A2 Key or Key for Schools, all the way to Proficiency, right? Now, some of you might say, warmers, didn't we used to call them warm-up sessions? Yes, we did. Do you know Gen Z or the Alpha generation? The fewer the words, the better, because then they can say different things. Or maybe it's just, especially with the Alpha generation, it's words nobody really understands, but it's like they use the same words but with different meanings, whatever. But yes, those are the warm-up sessions. We refer to them now as the classroom warmers, okay? I'm so glad this quote was not used by any of my colleagues today. This is by Jeremy. Jeremy, who's, I have to say, he was a colleague of mine. Don't ask me how long ago, but we were colleagues. We coincided at a teaching place, right? And I like it very much because it's about change. Because you know what they say, change is the only constant in our life, right? So teaching, not just about knowledge, because we've always said before, right? We believe our learners are not just empty buckets and we're the people, right? Just pouring water in or whatever it is you want to put, gold, liquid gold, whatever, right? No, it's about inspiring change. So why warm? So think about if this was the first time you had heard, oh, so warm-up sessions, right? Warmers, right? We think of warmers at the start of each class. And usually I say, or we tend to think short or shortish. And I'm going to give Jenny, lovely Jenny, are you here? Please, can you check just for 10 to 15 seconds? When I say short, shortish, just write the number of seconds, please, that you believe. Oh, I think I can see it here, chat. When I say short, and I'll see, I can see now, Jenny. So I can see that nobody's writing. People feeling very shy. When I say a short activity at the beginning of a session, how long do you think it is or should be? Let's see who the first brave person is. Nobody's writing anything. 5 minutes. Okay, thank you. Oh, lovely, lovely, brave people. 5 to 10 minutes. Anybody gives any longer time? 5 minutes is okay, Mari, for you. Okay, maybe 5 minutes. This is going to be interesting. Maybe 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 15 minutes. Lorraine, you brave person. Thank you. Coco says, okay, Magali, with all uppercase. 8 minutes enough. Very good. Right. So you might be surprised by Cambridge, not necessarily by me, right? Yeah, I agree with most of you. I usually think of 5 to under 10 minutes, but it's been agreed that anything under 20 minutes. Yes, I know. You can say anything you want. I agree with you. On this one, I agree with you, definitely. 2 minutes, very good, okay. Why are warmers important? Why are they useful? Because they help for all sorts of different things. Think about the start of your classroom, and I know your educational institution is your own context, so you may be in the case where you get learners directly from another class, or it may be the case that you go to the learners, they don't go to you. It might be that you're teaching at a private language school, so they arrive when they arrive, or in the case of young learners, when their parents take them to class, etc., etc. And you say, but this is important. I don't want to start this because this activity, this is a reading activity and it will take 20 minutes, right? Or this is a certain preparation that will take with the follow-up 25 minutes or 30 minutes. Sometimes we have long things, steps, sequences, but long things. And you say, let's start with something. And why should we? But it shouldn't be something, if you think about it, you don't want to start with something that is not relevant or important, because then people are going to get the idea, your learners, that, you can be late because whoever never starts with anything important. No, make it so that it's something fun that they can miss. It's something important that they can miss. Yes, we know we'll have to go back. Remember how many times? 3 times, so that we can really say that we learn and we know something. All right. So why not think about using something that could motivate the early arrival? So they're young, they're your students, etc. Surely they can run a little bit to get to your class, right? Okay, so I'm sorry. Provide a safe start of the lesson. What is a safe start of the lesson? For me, a safe start is when you don't start thinking, oh my God, please don't let her look at me. Please, God, please, no. I usually do my homework. This time I didn't. Please let her or let him look somewhere else. No. Low pressure activities, but something that is useful, relevant, something that will help them engage in the classroom, but also something that will probably help them make up a better team. Not just a classroom, but a team or teams or groups, whatever. So a good first taste to your lesson, right? Something that they can say, oh, yesterday. So when their parents ask them, what was your class like? You know, it's awful when they say, oh, right? Like, couldn't care less, right? No, give them something to remember. That can be a warmer, okay? And I'm sharing 2 of my favorite warmers with you today. The first one is called 2 true and 1 false. I'm going to share everything with you at the same time. You're going to see 3 statements about Rosalia, right? Which 2 are true and which one is false? And we go through it quickly, because if you've never known me and you say, this person is boring, why do I want to know more about her, right? Never mind. So 3 statements. I watch Japanese anime, I'm vegan, and I get nervous before a webinar. So again, just 1 number. Why am I not seeing my numbers? I watch Japanese films. I swear to you, I changed it this morning. It should be number 1. Vegan is number 2, and get nervous before a webinar like this one, 3. All right. I'm seeing 2s, I'm seeing 3s. Go on. 2. Go on quickly. Just 1 number. 3, 2. 5 more seconds. 3. Okay. Somebody very, Raul, have we met? Right? Because he's very sure. 3 exclamation marks, right? Okay. The thing that is false about myself, I am not a vegan. So number 2, I'm a vegan, is false. I try to have at least 1, ideally 2 vegan days a week, but I always get nervous before a webinar. Think of nervous excitement, right? I watch a Japanese anime, Edwin. I really enjoyed not all of it, just like not all comedies, but I do, okay? So when you do this, maybe you want to do this about yourself also, but try and get it with other learners, right? So that they start to get each other better, one another better, all right? So now you know I'm not a vegan. I do watch Japanese anime, and I always get nervous before a webinar because I get excited, all right? Just ask my boys. My boys are my husband and my son, who usually get to hear my presentations before I present them openly, formally, all right? Creating one-word stories together. So we all are going to contribute one word. We don't have time now, but you will get the idea, right? And do it in alphabetical order just to make it interesting, or you can do two of the same letter, whatever. Adopt something and then adapt it, right? So I put 3 here. Ants believe cats. And I said, that's a lovely beginning of a story. Ants believe that cats don't earn furious games, okay? You get the idea. So it's things, if they make you think, they make you have a different perspective, etc., right? Thank you, Raul, that you like that, okay? I do my best. So warmers, always try and think of some warmers you would like. Maybe you do them by the month, like different levels. And by the way, when you go to the exam preparation journey, guess what? You can download a beautiful booklet with all different warmers that you can start using right away, straight from Cambridge to you. Creating a path to success. I'll have to go quickly with this one because I know there's lots of things I want to say. So these are very important things that your learners, but not just your learners, their families, they have to understand different things about the exam. Just like the exam date and the time, Cambridge doesn't believe in people being late for exams. Very important, right? And if you have experience, you know that, right? Venue, careful with traffic, okay? Requirements, what they can or cannot take. Believe me, we know about candidates with special requirements, people who, because of something, a special requirement, they have to be able to eat something every certain time. So provided there is something where a doctor is backing that up, we take that into account, right? A clear bottle of water, these would not fill the requirement, right? Because we don't know that. And of course, no Coca-Cola or Jugo Verde or whatever, right? The exam format, they should know what the exam will look like, because then it won't be nasty surprises. You need to know, they have to be able to activate their schemata, their exam format schemata. Rules and regulations. What happens if they catch you cheating? Cheating, Rosalia? Yeah, sometimes, unfortunately, we catch people cheating and we have to do very strict things about it. Exam day tips, we have updated them not too long ago. So you can see for the computer-based exam day tips, the digital exams, but also for the paper-based exam day tips, and especially for speaking. Those are lovely. You know, you can find them and they are really very important. Families are key stakeholders when it comes to your learners taking an exam. Lots of things to take here into account. For the first one, I know we could spend 3 hours talking about whether sometimes it's too much and what sort of education should happen at home and what sort of language education, in your case, sorry, should happen just in the classroom, right? You have an expertise that parents don't, right? That is a given. Sometimes we as parents can get very passionate about our kids because they are kids, right? We gave birth to them, right? But that's why sometimes educators have to make decisions on behalf of parents, on behalf of families. And we expect trust from the families of our learners, right? And guess what? Parents, we know, expect results. Sometimes We can talk about whether they're realistic results or not, but let us just say, what do those families know? What do they think they know? Because sometimes what they think they know might not be what they really know or what they need to know. This is like a tongue twister now. What do they want to know? It's important to give them the opportunity to ask these questions. What do they need to know? What do we need them to know? Also hugely important. And things like this, the questions that we get about specific exams. When you get those questions, don't despair. Get in touch with your center, right? And see how they can find. Because especially if this is the first time for a new Cambridge exam, or the first time ever with a Cambridge exam, we are there for you. We can guide you through the conversation with families so that you know, okay, all the things you have to consider and what you need to remember, right? Questions that they might ask you, like, but they're so young. Isn't it too much stress? How is this helping them? Look at all the things. It's not just, oh, look at all the arguments you can use. No, no, no. These are all facts. These are all things that are true, okay? Because at the end of the day, you know, we know, it's been proven, preparation for a Cambridge exam is safe, it's controlled because you're in charge and you're helping them. There's no way they can get ready for a Cambridge exam without learning. And that's the important thing, right? And yes, they're little, they're small, they're lovely, they're young, etc. But life is waiting for them, okay? So they will have to be ready. So, important things to remember, also the things that you can quote, things that are true. Always. Results help them. We know what sort of results they're waiting for. The results will always help them, right? You know what the Common European Framework of Reference is, the CEFRA, as we usually call it affectionately, but probably they don't, right? So let's talk to them in a way they can relate to. We're talking about not very young learners, but the parents, right? So I will show you, just one sec, what we do to talk to them, because then you say, oh, but you said starters, then you said movers, then you said flyers, and then you said secondary school, etc. Look at that young child, right? And look at that. High level, right? They're starting to do things. They're starting to go. You understand those letters because those are very important letters. You understand what they mean. So when we talk to parents, let me show you, to families, let me show you the approach that we tend to do. If it's very young learners, this is how we like to go, right? Because this is what they're used to. And this is, or also, and you will see that is in Spanish, because if it's a talk with families, we will have the talk in Spanish, of course. It's not an English test for them after all, right? But if we talk about, this is for older learners, right? Where we go probably from A to Key for schools, talking about lower secondary schools, what we call secos here, or prepas, our upper secondary schools, right? So we have a way of talking to them, and we can share you. So the exam essentials, you heard me already mention some of these things, right? You heard me talk about vocabulary, and let's face it, I remember when I was managing events, conferences, whenever you offer something, a talk on vocabulary or fun activities or things like technology, you always have lots and lots of people. I mentioned to you on the day of the exam, this is just to remind you, this is the sort of thing that you see here, right? But everything that you need, remember I also mentioned the handbooks for teachers at the very first time we open. I'm laughing because my son is making faces at me, right? The teacher essentials. As I said, we had already made these things in a way that made sense to us, but now with the exam preparation journey, we think it's even easier to remember. Now I'm going to show you 3 slides. 3 slides. And these are my 2 questions for you. And Jenny, you don't have to report, but all my Cambridge colleagues, please, my lovely, lovely marketing Cambridge colleagues, have a look at the answers because this is very important for us. These 3 slides are part of a complete PowerPoint presentation. Have you, your institution, ever received a copy of this PowerPoint? Because I created it, we created it at Cambridge, especially for you. If you have never seen it, if you have never received it, please let us know. We are updating it, right? So look at this. Okay, interesting. Okay, that's good to know because we thought, okay, no, don't cry. Please send me a copy. Yes, that's what we want to know. So this is something that okay, pizza. Don't get sad, right? Okay, thank you. This has been very useful. So colleagues, this is something we definitely have to do. This is a PowerPoint presentation that you can use. You will see there is no Cambridge formatting here for the slides because you use your own school format, okay? So we create the content, but you adapt it, all right? So we will talk to your centers to let them have the latest updated edition as soon as possible. Many thanks for your honest answers, all right? This is a quick introduction. It's so quick, you will not realize that the intro has finished that quick, all right? When we talk about essentials, you can see mock test toolkit right there, top of that, right? If you have never seen these things, don't worry. These are things that are going to come your way, and they're going to come a very nice way because they're going to come to you through the exam preparation journey way, all right? Mock test toolkit is a must. Now, let me tell you something very interesting about the mock test toolkit. When it should be used, there are so many different ideas. There are so many different suggestions. This is the quick introduction, by the way, to the mock test toolkit. I'm being very cheeky with this because when you use the mock test toolkit, when you should use it, remember when I said your classroom? Remember what I said about your learners, your context? Who's the expert? You. So you decide when you want to use it. Our duty, our responsibility is to make you feel 100% confident that your learners will be ready, all of them, all things being equal, to take the Cambridge English exam. Because you know you're using the coursebooks that are appropriate for that level, etc., etc. So the mock test toolkit will give you that. The experience of a Cambridge test, but it will be a mock test because you will be in charge of everything. Now, we know that some of our approved exam centers offer that as an option. You can talk to your exam center. But what we have created at Cambridge is a possibility for you to take care of everything yourself. So we give you everything you need and we explain how you use it and how to make the most of the experience and the results, okay? You want to do it now. Just one thing, please, no 6 mock tests throughout the school year, right? Full mock tests, 6 mock full tests, that full mock tests, oh my God, that's quite a challenge. 6 full mock tests throughout the school year is too much, right? And we can say that sometimes there is too much of a good thing. So a mock test toolkit is a great idea, but let's not overdo it, okay? So we have that. We have 2 toolkits, one for young learners and a general one. So my 2 questions, quick questions, and these ones, just, you don't have to report them, Jenny, but just have a look because we need to know so that we can plan accordingly. All right? How well do you know the mock test toolkit? You don't have to write anything. Well, no, I'm asking you to write. Sorry. I tell you, sometimes I surprise myself. Do you know it well? A little bit. You can use percentages here, right? A little, a bit, I'd like to know more, etc. Right? And would you like a webinar about it? Because let me tell you, being brutally honest with you, we have webinars. Glad to start working. Okay. Okay. Oh, all right, Jenny, have a look at that. All right. Let me tell you something. We have it. You'd like to learn more. Okay. An invitation for the webinar. We haven't actually scheduled a webinar, Magali, but thank you very much. Moni, you have asked this before. I think the answer is a yes. So a webinar, yes. Okay, let me tell you something. We've already got some recorded webinars. So you can see, you will see the unfamiliar. Okay, interested. Okay, Lorraine, good to know that you know it quite well. So when we offer that extra webinar, don't worry, you don't have to come. We will tell you about it, but we will also ask our colleagues to share links to previous webinars before, if you'd like to start, because it's always good to have a different perspective. And my great friend, Sarah Ellis, has already done one recently. And I think there was another one with also my other lovely friend, Alberto Costa, right? So, and we've had different ones, okay? So it's always good to see a different perspective. So we'll share some links to previous webinars. Ana Paula, don't worry. And we'll try and see if we can still schedule one, Jenny, okay? Let's talk about that later. And now, if I have a friend in South America who's always saying, and now here you come with your esoteric things, Rosalia, right? We're talking about preparation for exams, the exam preparation journey, but I want to mention 2 very important things. Here's a webinar Rosalie is talking about. Thank you, colleagues, right? Laughter. Laughter is free. So let's make the most of that. I love that word, free, in any language. Guess what? When you hear somebody laughing, even yourself, you laugh, which is very good. Laughing makes you feel good. There's things inside us, right? When you laugh, we create them. It's very good. If you never heard about laughter yoga, just Google it. It's great, right? And here I am sending you a definite recommendation. Dr. Andy Cope, he's a doctor. He really, really is a doctor, right? But he calls himself the doctor of happiness. Andy, when he started out as a psychiatrist. So a psychiatrist is somebody who has to study medicine first and then specialize on psychiatry, right? And he decided to become the doctor of happiness because he said, I'm sick and tired of getting people when they are feeling miserable. I would like them not to get to that stage of feeling miserable. And sometimes when we're getting learners ready for the exam, when our learners are getting ready for an exam, there can be a bit of anxiety, there can be a little stress, etc. Always remember to laugh. Remember those warmers? Always a good idea. Sometimes get something with an element that will bring laughter into the classroom. Yes, I can hear you now. Stop reminding me. All right. And this is for mindfulness. Remember I told you I always get excited about webinars. I really get very excited about being able to share ideas with colleagues, etc. This is mindfulness. If you ask me to describe mindfulness in as few words as possible, I would tell you mindfulness is about here and now. It's really learning to pay attention to what is happening And when you do these, you really are listening to yourself and you're paying attention to yourself. There are moments in the classroom, but there's also moments in life when we need to give ourselves the chance to stop and think and take it easy. And you know what? All it takes is, remember what I asked you to do at the very beginning? Let's have a deep breath. 10 minutes every day can make a huge difference. But guess what? There's also the importance of mindfulness in class. And never will be mindfulness more important than when you are guiding your learners to go to that goal, which is a Cambridge exam. And this, and thank you, my voice, for letting me finish here, is what I wanted to share with you today. So I think we have about 2 minutes and a bit for questions. But let me share something, because I know you're all looking forward to seeing these, right? That is a lovely QR code that will take you to what is officially called a check-in, where you get what you know you want to get, all right? So go there. Let me stop sharing. Let me again say thank you. Thank you for trusting Cambridge. And believe me when I tell you, we're here with you every step of the way. So, have I done stop sharing? Hope I have.
Can you share the
No, you're
QR
still
code
sharing.
again, please?
I'm still sharing. Stop sharing. I'm sorry. Can I share the what?
The QR code, please.
Okay, so share screen. And I have stuck here. Can you see it now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Zoom is letting me do things today. So, so it's there. If there is a new format for the test, Eliana, that's a very good question. We always let you know in advance when there are changes to the test. So if we haven't, and we let you know, oh, no questions. Everything clear as mud. I'm sure you have explained it before, but where can I have the access to the resources you mentioned? Please, can somebody write? Okay, this is all you have to do. As easy as going to Google, whatever it is that you use, Bing, whatevs, Cambridge exam preparation journey. 4 words. Cambridge exam preparation journey. And I'm sure, Lorraine, thank you very much. You're sweet. I'm sure somebody will share it there, but it's Cambridge exam preparation journey. And guess what? Each one of these Success Academy webinars will help you explore a pack. You'll have my lovely, lovely friend, Dr. Miranda Hamilton, next time. I will be very happy to introduce her, and we'll talk about being smart. All uppercase, S-M-A-R-T, being smart. And we're talking about being smart when it comes to exams. I think I haven't got any more questions. I believe we've come to the end of this lovely session with you. I'm sorry about my voice. I'm sorry about my cough. Thank you very much. All right. Okay, you have the link there. How about that? Thank you. Exam preparation journey. See? Cambridge exam preparation journey. Whenever you forget, that's what I do. Cambridge exam preparation journey. I go there all the time. Next webinar will coincide. Remember I told you 10 packs? We have only a certain number of consejos técnicos. So what we did was very clever. We added 2 extra sessions. That's why you'll see that 2 sessions are on Tuesdays. So please make sure that you come. Thank you, Coco. I will stop talking now and I will go back to where I want to be, where nobody asks me questions and I can ignore the world for the rest of the day. Carol, thank you. You make me feel very, very happy about being here today. So, Cambridge exam preparation journey. We're with you every single step of the way. Please believe me when I said that. You've been a great audience. Thank you very much. And make sure you feel prepared, because you will be, and so will your learners, for that Cambridge exam coming soon. Well, soon, because what's a lifetime? Next, within the school next year, end of school year, sometimes for you in May, whatever, earlier than that, will help you. Thank you. Have a good weekend when it starts. I think it's still Friday, right? Cinnamon and okay, I love cinnamon, but garlic, please don't. Okay, I will. You have a good weekend. Lovely. Okay. Honey is what I'm doing. And you're as sweet as honey. Okay, I'm sure we're going to get roughly out of this virtual room very quickly today. So thank you very much. Bye.